contact between the two of them. Oh, it's contact. There's contact. And there's contact between Cheryl Paul and Campbell Pilling.
Welcome to Little Rissington for round 5 of the 2023 Daniel Ricciardo Series. We are heading towards the business end of the championship. Just 2 rounds to come after this at GYG towards the northwest of Wales, followed by the finale at Wilton Mill. Here at Rissington, we're in the middle of the UK's Air Force heartland, the circuit located in the midst, actually, of a live RAF base. We just had craft land and then take off again at the base, which is just to the left of turn 1 here at Paddock Bend. And for yours truly, it is the first visit here, but we're informed that that site is a first for those who have visited here on several occasions. Well, many of those driving here, particularly in our cadet and our junior classes, they're going to be hoping that this weekend is a springboard to a takeoff for their career. At the very least, those competing today will be hoping for better luck than the man himself, Daniel Ricciardo. Last time out, we arrived at Houghton Park in the wake of the news that Danny Rick had returned to Formula 1 prior to the Hungarian Grand Prix. Of course, this weekend saw the news that he'd broken his hand in a practice crash at Zandvoort. Everyone here associated with the championship will be hoping he is on the mend as soon as possible. You can see on our screen right now that the track location is listed as Cheltenham. We're actually about halfway between Oxford and the Twin Cities, as you may like to refer to them. Certainly in America you'd call them Twin Cities, Cheltenham and Gloucester. Halfway between them, right in the heart of the Cotswolds. Beautiful area of the country that it is. And it's a very, very twisty circuit. It's fast, overtaking difficult. As you see, schedule for today, the DRS62s will be followed by the DRS125s and then the 100s in each of our respective stages of the day. So we start with qualifying and then through to the heat, and then the pre-final and the grand final in the order. All of them going to be 62s first, then the 125s, our seniors, followed by the juniors, the 100s, and we will end with that grand final, of course, for the DRS 100s at 3:15. Of course, always subject to change on that one. Welcome back to Little Rissington. We are live, of course, on Facebook and YouTube, and next up is our seniors, our DRS 125s for their qualifying session. Of course, just off of the back of the cadet class, the 62s, their qualifying, in which Harley Drake took the pole position by nearly basically by 4/10 of a second. Absolutely dominant performance. We were counting the number of laps during the session that would have been good enough for pole position. We counted 4 at one point before an improvement, particularly from Lucas Esser getting up to second place, that may have reduced that number slightly, but still absolutely extremely impressive nonetheless. So now our 125's a bit of a problem there for one of our drivers trying to get away, and that there is Oscar Wandley-Jones. And now he gets out. There's several others still left behind, and what we saw actually at Houghton Park was that some of the drivers, Sam Faulkner in particular, not so keen to head out straight away, let the track rubber in a little bit more, and that's when you'll get the best out of it. However, we did see that in the 62 qualifying session that Harley Drake getting out a little late, and on his front it did seem to be a genuine issue more than just waiting on purpose. but having all that clean air may well have been a help to him. How much of a help we don't know. You suspect that with that 4/10 advantage, that had a lot more to do with pure pace than clean air, but you would still expect it was a small factor in that gap. It's worth noting, of course, that if you look through the championship standings, you'll see that Sam Faulkner, our defending champion in this category, is comfortably in front, and his gap over the competition, it's going to be that much greater because Freddie Cox, the second place driver in the championship, is not here. So what was a 46-point gap between that pair, Faulkner is going to extend that significantly. So we would expect that the new second place driver in the championship is going to be Tom Snape. But could also be a chance for Oliver Owen to leap up into second place in the championship. The gap between Snape and Owen is 20 points, but Snape with an 80-point deficit to Sam Faulkner, who swept the weekend up at Hooton Park, and we've not had many of those across the three classes of the Daniel Ricciardo Championship. Across the Daniel Ricciardo Series so far this year, as we see the initial times coming up on our screen. Sam Faulkner, the quick man at the moment, with a 41.741, just under 4/10 ahead of Oscar Walmsley-Jones. So seemingly big gaps may well be the routine for the day. We'll wait and see. I'm sure certainly with the 100s we won't see that with our juniors. There's a problem going through Paddock Bend there. Trying to see who that was. It's a single plate driver, Cole Watt. So Snape, who we were just talking about a moment ago, gets almost within a tenth of Faulkner. Peter Hugler, who had a spin during our warm-up, slots into third place. And so now we see the competition closing right up. Henry Foote, who moved up to the 125 class at Hooton Park, jumping up to third now. Looks very, very competitive in that first outing up in the Northwest. And well, wouldn't you just look there at second to fifth, currently with just under 4.5 minutes to go. The gap between second and fifth is just over 2/100ths of a second. And so any concerns that we might have had about competition have just been well and truly washed away with that. So they remain as they are towards the top five. First, Bill Basie moving up into sixth place, and that's within 2/10 of our pole man, Sam Faulkner. And we were saying earlier how track evolution probably won't be as much of a factor as at Hooton Park, with the track there being so green. And that certainly seems to be the case so far. Ethan Critchley to the top of the times with a 41.673. That's half a tenth ahead of Sam Faulkner. So the dominant force in the championship has 3 minutes to pull something out of the bag in his quest for pole position there, Sam Faulkner. There's one driver actually pulling in. That's another one of our single plate drivers in a blue helmet. So we know it wouldn't have been Cole Watt there. And just judging by the shout of, I think he's gone in, that we heard there from the race director, Matt, who's just outside of our commentary area here. One wonders if somebody there has gotten themselves in a bit of trouble. So we know it's not Cole Watt, and we know it's not Tom Snape, who rounds the first couple of corners right now. And as we switch our attentions back to, as we see Henry Foote there getting a track limit warning, as we switch our attentions back to what's going on the circuit at the moment, it's still Ethan Critchley on pole position with 100 seconds for Faulkner now to try and beat him. And there are actually a few drivers now that are heading away from the circuit. So it seems some drivers either with problems or happy that they've maximised their lap time. One minute to go. We're still following Tom Snape as he comes around the dogleg, which is absolutely one of the most unique corners that we race around here in the Daniel Ricciardo Series, and indeed that any karting championship will race around throughout the UK. It looks like one of these modern day chicanes that's just been bolted onto a track artificially for safety purposes, but it has definitely been there for a long time here at Rissington, a historic circuit. Those of you watching on YouTube, you might have used the term Little Rissington Karting to find our stream, and if you have done so, you might well want to hop away just during an interval and just see some of the history at this track. You'll find an interview with a young chap called Daniel Weldon among the archives, and some British Pathé coverage from 1967 from here as well. But as we look at the conclusion and we see no further improvements for anybody within our top six, really. Still a couple of drivers to come across the line. And no further improvements there. And of course that will mean that Ethan Critchley is on pole position, pulling it out of the bag late on there to deny our runaway championship leader Sam Faulkner, with Tom Snape in third and just 2 100ths between he and Henry Foote in fourth and Peter Hugler in fifth. Hugler with a bit of trouble in the warm-up, bouncing back well to record a good starting position for the heat race that is due to come up for our 125s in 50 minutes from now. So it is Critchley by just over a half a tenth, Faulkner in second, and Snape a tenth further back in third. Next up is our DRS100 qualifying. Time now for our seniors to go racing. 125 heat coming up for you, and it was an ultra competitive qualifying session in which the dominant force in this championship, Sam Faulkner, was denied the pole position by Ethan Critchley, who you see there in the white helmet, 325 on the pole, and third to fifth extremely competitive, just half a tenth between the top two, but then the gap between third to fifth, just 0.02 of a second. As we have a spin, a collision, 3 karts off on the parade lap here, and 2 of them, well, they're going to push their karts back onto the circuit, and now, well, these are instances in which we are happy to have the clerk of the course situated right next to our commentary area, and the chance to see exactly what the procedure should or would be here. They will, of course, be told to go around again for now, and it'll be interesting to see exactly what will happen, who will get to regain their starting positions, who will not. But 3 karts colliding there on the outlap from the dummy grid. It appears one of them was Oliver Rowan, and it did happen up towards the front of the field there. So Oliver Rowan we know was one. We also know that Oscar Walmsley-Jones was another. Not so sure about the third, as we have another driver in trouble. Just down towards the bottom corner there, and that was this time the number 4 of Bill Basic. And now they're going around. They're going around extremely quickly, trying to keep heat in the tyres, but one rather suspects that it will be difficult to get a start given the circumstances that we have had. Every attempt will be made to get one. And it does appear for the moment that everybody is aligned. So let's see. The question here is going to be about keeping the pace right down as we come around the final corner of the gearbox circuit. And do we get a start? We get a start, and Faulkner slow away and right into second place there. Behind Critchley goes Tom Snape. Faulkner going to try and come back in towards the loop there, and then running slightly wide, but setting up a good run through the top bend was Snape. Down towards the dogleg they go. Already a big lead for Critchley. Faulkner goes to second place and gets it. And that might let in, well, they could go 3 wide here at the exit. And it's actually 3-3-3. Oscar Walmsley-Jones, who was one of those involved in the coming together on the sighting lap, and up into third he goes. A double pass at the exit of the dogleg. It allows a bit of a breakaway for Critchley in the lead, and Faulkner in second place, well ahead of third now. And Faulkner will be firmly locked in on our race leader. All the action, if it's going to come anywhere, it's going to come in to fight for third. And here is a move to the inside. We didn't see it on our TV screens there, but it does look as if a move for third was made there. We'll check as they come around, because it was Oscar Walmsley-Jones that was in third, and there's well, let's see. Third, 3-3-6 is Henry Foot. Then it's Snape, Owen and Walmsley-Jones all the way back to 7th in the end. Just, that's what happens at the dogleg. You get past, or you take the wrong line, and it costs you so much momentum through the following corners, because you're basically going through an acceleration zone there, all the way through to the elbow, effectively. And so you lose a lot of time going up there. So Critchley leads Faulkner. Big gap to third now, it's 1.7 seconds. 3/10 between Critchley and Faulkner. And with 6.5 minutes to go, we may well have a battle going in towards the closing laps. It looks like a bit less than that now already between that front two. Snape looking to challenge for third as they come towards the end of the lap. Once again, the front two through the elbow. And it's going to be around 2/10 now. It is exactly 2/10 between Critchley and Faulkner. A move back in the pack, and 3.29 there that was. Daniel Weir having to pull out of one at Paddock Bend as he was looking to pass Carl Watt in the 6. Karts look so unstable there going into the dogleg. Always looks like somebody's about to loop it, as we saw on the opening lap of the 62 race. And Faulkner ahead. Faulkner has taken the lead. He's moved ahead. Even Critchley, the gap on the, now it corrects, the gap on the timing screens initially showed 0.000, but it was 0.255 as you can see now. And you wonder if Faulkner now will maybe just go and run and hide, so to speak. Foot beginning to pull away a little bit in that fight for third place, and now we're looking really at the battle for fourth between Tom Snape and Oliver Rowan, and a little bit further behind there's a good scrap for what is 7th place there, and that's Tommy Welsh and Kurt Fordrick. Faulkner just pulling out an extra 10th on that lap over Critchley, as we have a contact warning for Ferris Bill Basie, who was one of several to have problems prior to the start of the race. Faulkner looks like he's pulled away a little bit again on this lap. Critchley, as we looked at them at the back of the circuit, looked like he gained a little, but Faulkner overall quicker around the entirety of the lap. 4 minutes to go as we continue to watch the battle for fourth. The gap extended a bit from Snape to Owen, now 0.3 of a second between that duo. Once again, Critchley looking like he's gained a little bit going out of the exit of the dogleg, but then just losing out a little bit on the run up towards the elbow. And through the final corner they come once again, and the fight still very much on for fourth place, with Snape now leading, going by just 1/10.5. And a side-by-side, and that is the battle for fourth. As Critchley continues to hold on to Faulkner. We couldn't quite see who came out on top there. It looks as if Snape is still just ahead, but Critchley has reeled Faulkner back in here, and the gap is under 0.2. And the win still being hotly contested after all, as there's a move and a little contact there, just coming around Paddock Bend in the pack. And there were 3 karts that came very close together there. I believe that was Bill Basie, Woodrow and Tuscany Groves. It might well have been Groves there with the contact. And Owen once again getting close to Snape, going into the dogleg there. And here they go, back round at the front, and I suspect it is a little closer. It is indeed 1/10.5 now. don't need to tell you the gap realistically. You can see the gap. But certainly we could see that it was closer. No sign of a move in the battle for the lead, nor in the battle for fourth as they go into the dogleg once again. But the competition still very much hot in the fight for those places. Critchley taking a little bit of a tighter line there through bottom bend. And now across the line they come. Still, as you were, between those front two. It was slightly better on that lap from Faulkner. Our leading academy driver, by the way, is Ryan Williams in 14th overall in a battle there behind Tuscany Groves and Jake Woodrow. As it appears as if Faulkner has maybe just pulled out a little bit of a gap once again. He has indeed, as they come up towards the elbow. 45 seconds to go. So this should be the penultimate lap. Critchley may still be just gaining a little bit here. Faulkner looking to really pedal it down towards the dogleg. And I think Critchley is gained on this lap. But he's going to make a move. It's going to be now or never. Faulkner through the elbow. Critchley with a good run there. They're right together now. Will there be a move? Right on the bumper is Critchley going into Paddock Bend. Into the loop. Faulkner takes the shallow line into the corner. And it'll allow now Critchley to try and take the wider line into the top bend and maybe a chance for a move. Faulkner goes defensive. This cost... And Critchley's going to go to the outside and then set up the over and under. It's a good line there, however, from Faulkner. And the move, if it's going to be one, it has to be into the elbow. Critchley's going to have to send it into the elbow here. And we can see Faulkner, is he taking... Yes, he is taking the defensive line. Will it set up a photo finish? Faulkner has the line through the final corner and right on the bumper. They cross the line, but it's Faulkner that holds on. Critchley was in position there, but just couldn't quite make it happen. We were just about to say, as they went into the dogleg there, that going defensive cost. In the DRS62 race, it cost Carter Inskip Clarkson 4th place on that final lap there to Lucas Esser in that race. But Sam Faulkner executed that same move to perfection, held the line through both of the apexes there, and took the defensive line into the elbow and held on for the win. The gap in the end was just 0.09 of a second. And in the end, that being the closest margin between any two drivers out on track as the flag fell. Henry Foote in the end finishing third, closing to just 1.1 seconds of the two leaders in the end. It was bigger than that earlier on, with Tom Snape holding off Oliver Owen in that fight for 4th place that actually, with a couple of laps to go, looked like that was going to be more hotly contested than the fight for the win. But as it is, it's Faulkner that takes the checkered flag, but definitely one of his harder fought victories of the season over Ethan Critchley. And Foote, Snape and Owen rounding out the top 5, and the remainder of the top 10, Oscar Walmsley-Jones, Tommy Welsh, Kurt Fordry, Daniel Weir and Cole Watts. And after a tumultuous couple of sighting laps, we finally get the race underway, and it's clean, and it brings us the action that we were hoping for here in the Daniel Ricciardo Series. This is round 5 at Little Rissington, and coming up next is our heat race for the DRS 100s. Barely a chance to catch our breath after that pulsating 62 pre-final where there was just so much action. you barely even knew where to look. Disappointment for Lucas Esser and Oscar Roach after that full course caution, red path, and Drake bouncing back from simultaneous spins at the dogleg as the rain came and went again, and we ended up with an academy driver taking the overall win. Carter Inskip-Clarkson doing so well in the first race, but take your hat off for an even better effort in the second. And we're now back, of course, with the 125s, and some of this group put on a quite spectacular show earlier on for us as well. Ethan Critchley losing out to Sam Faulkner in the early going, but stuck to the task and very, very nearly going side by side with Faulkner over the finish line. Less than a tenth of a second between them at the checkered flag. More of the same, please, from a neutral's perspective. As always, before the race start, they go around the outer layout, the gearbox circuit here at Little Rissington, and up towards the last 90-degree right-hander we go, and we look to set ourselves for a start. And we get one, and Faulkner and Critchley pretty much level, and Critchley actually almost pulling ahead, and a contact there around about third place, as it looked like Snape was hit from behind, and whoever it was that hit him, we couldn't quite make it out. They lost some ground there, lost a couple of positions at least. Defensive move being made by Critchley going into the and a spinner towards the back of the pack. Well, that is a single plate there, and I just wonder if maybe that might have been Oscar Owen there. No, it wasn't. So Faulkner leading by almost half a second coming across the finish line. And the battle we're seeing on screen is for third place. And this is Snake and Foot. And Owen is right in it as it's Foot there looking to make a move, and he took a tight line into the dogleg, but comes out safely and without his line compromised. As back round they come to complete the second lap, and Faulkner looks like he may well have edged out a little bit more of a gap. Just slightly, just less than half a tenth. And they're pretty well spread out between the top three. And the fight is for fourth and fifth. And here's a move. Foot going wide through top bend, and through goes Oliver Owen. Back they come again. Snake looks like he's pulled away a little bit now as a result of Oliver Owen's move for fourth place. Battle we're seeing on the screen now is between Tommy Welsh and Daniel Weir for seventh. Oscar Walmsley Jones pressuring Henry Foot ahead of them, and Foot still in touch with Oliver Owen. As the clouds once again loom large to our left. But the track dry for the moment. Faulkner once again coming around the elbow and into the final corner. Looks like Oliver Owen is closing in on Snake. The gap between them, 3/10 of a second now. Looks like everybody is in relatively close contact, but there's no moves imminent at the moment. As Faulkner leads them through the dogleg. Through bottom bend and up towards the elbow once again. 5.5 minutes to go. And with the way the field is at the moment, there's nothing that's going to happen imminently, although there is a battle shaping up there. That's 6 and 3-2-6. That's Cole Watton and Peter Hugler. Hugler, who qualified very well earlier today. And he's got himself a contact warning there. Qualified up in 5th place, just 200ths off a third. But back in 12th at the moment, or excuse me, in 11th in this pre-final. You can just tell that when they get slightly spread out like this, it usually means that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to close in and make a battle of things. It's a calm before the storm, if you will, and it looks like the storm is going to come from Oliver Owen and Tom Snape. Snape a second back from Ethan Critchley, whose challenge of Faulkner is not going as well as it did in the heat. But Owen versus Snape appears to be the main fight on the track between now and the end of the race. And Owen closing right in on the bumper as they go into Paddock Bend. And I think maybe just the slightest of nudges through turn 2. Penalty being announced to 3-4-5. And that's someone further down the field, or unless that's 3-3-5, it is indeed. No 3-4-5 in the race. And Owen is ahead of Snape, and you would have seen that on your screens, and now bouncing over the curbs is Henry Foote in his pursuit of 3rd place. The three of them right together. Owen begins to pull out a slight gap as a result of getting past Snape there. Through the dogleg they go. Faulkner's lead now just under a second. It looks like he's weathered the storm pretty well this time by. En route to a potentially another clean sweep, sans the pole position, which was of course taken by Critchley. And we suddenly have a little sun coming out. The clouds look very menacing, as we said earlier, off to our left, but I wonder if they're going to miss the circuit. It's going to miss the backside of the circuit from where we are. We turn our attentions once again to the fight for 3rd place. You've been watching it throughout. Looks like Snape may be coming under pressure here from Foote. We see them going through Paddock Bend into the loop. Once again, it doesn't look like there's any chance to set up a move, but you suspect that means there's one coming before the end of the race. They'll always close right back up. That is, of course, unless you're Sam Faulkner. Now a second ahead, and it looks bigger than a second as they come round. And there's almost 1.3 now. Snape keeping going honest in the battle for 3rd, and if anything, he is closer to 3rd than Henry Foote is to him. Just see them once again through the dogleg. And now a move being made for fourth. Well, that came from quite some way back. Henry Foote there, catching Tom Snake napping a little bit. Into the elbow, and through he went. I mean, it was a great move, because once you get down the inside there, the defending driver can't turn in. You essentially get put into a position as a defending driver there where you either back out or crash. And that's because of the timing of that move from Henry Foote. Great pass to take fourth. And now the main battle on the circuit appears to be between number 8 and 329, which is Welsh and Weir. This is a battle we were watching a little bit earlier in the race on the stream. Just a tenth between them as we are now on the final lap. And Faulkner's lead is a dominant 1.5 seconds at this point. By DRS standards, that's a big, big lead. Through comes Faulkner. Through the elbow, round the final corner and wins. Ahead of Critchley, Owen taking third, Snake being pushed back to fifth in the end, and Tommy Welsh holds on to 7th place in that close battle we had remaining out of the contenders. So Faulkner makes it back-to-back wins for the day. Critchley once again second. Oliver Owen, who threatened to take a top 3 place in the heat, does so in the pre-final. And so that's your top 3 here at Little Rissington. They head back towards scrutineering, and we will see them again for their grand final. And that'll be at 2:55. But for now, next up is the DRS 100 pre-final. Two races to go here in round 5 of the Daniel Ricciardo Series. I think it's safe to say that the DRS 62s have well and truly proved the highlight of the day, but these 125s have been intriguing, particularly in the heat. Sam Faulkner having to really work hard to hold off Ethan Critchley. He took the pole at Critchley, but wasn't able to keep the lead initially. Then he just kept at the task, and he really gave Faulkner a real scare towards the very end. They crossed the line less than a tenth of a second apart. As we're just seeing a red flag. So something has happened out there, because there is a kart being removed from around Marshall's Post 3. So red flag, and everybody formed back up. 335 at the back of the field there. That's Thomas Dakin sending out a signal of some sort. And we're just trying to, we can see on the camera, on the TV now, so 111 is being moved away, but 111 is not in this race. That would be Jakob Zoltz from the 62 final, so I can only imagine there that maybe we weren't quite ready for a start. So we'll just have a small delay while that kart is removed. And in due course, we'll be back out there. Can't imagine that this will be anything more than a couple of minutes of a delay. Sam Faulkner in particular, our pole man. And Faulkner, of course, as we were mentioning much earlier on in the broadcast, he'll have a big lead as the result of the just having a check of all the karts at the moment. Just trying to have Matt next to us, the clerk of the course for this meeting, just to be able to hear what may be happening with certain things, see if we can keep you a little bit more in the loop than we may usually be able to. But of course, Sam Faulkner going to be a big beneficiary here of the absence of Freddie Cox. Could allow Tom Snape to move through. We'll be aware, by the way, that Oliver Rowan was given a penalty during the, well, after the pre-final. He finished third on the road. He lines up at the moment in what appears to be 8th place. He was lined up on the inside there, so that may be correct. 8th place would be on the outside there. So let's see. Looks like, no, there he goes to the outside. So we may appears as if we've probably gotten that correct. So let's see. Sometimes we're going to start first time by after got a problem down the back straight. Just trying to see who that is. I wonder if it is maybe... No, I don't think it is Dackins. Well, they're back up to speed, and we're going to get a start further ahead. And it was Bill Basie who was in trouble, but will catch up to the pack. Faulkner leads away from Critchley. Side by side for third. I believe that is Snape, it is indeed, who has kept the third place and ahead there of 336, Henry Foote. Round they come to complete the first lap. Faulkner already with a big lead. Critchley with a decent gap to second place, and to third place rather. Of course, you say big lead by first lap standards there. And is that already Oliver? It is. Oliver Owen already in fifth and a move for third. Foote makes it through, and that really cost Snape. Oh, contact. And Owen, oh dear, may well have picked up another penalty there in that contact with Henry Foote, as Foote got around Snape there, and Owen looked to take advantage by making what would have been effectively a double move. Third on the road, so he's made it for the moment. No signs of a penalty coming up on our screen, but Foot will want to take that back, for sure. Over the line, half a second between Faulkner and Critchley. And the battle on for third again. And Foot this time is going to get ahead of Oliver Owen. Oscar Walmsley-Jones is up into fifth now. And they come out of the dogleg. Critchley looks like he's keeping Faulkner honest. He may have lost some time, but if he has, it doesn't look like too much. Let's see. Yeah, just half a tenth, if that, is the difference between that top two. And Owen has his sights set on Foot once again. And it looks like their battle is going to continue and continue. And of course, they still have 9.5 minutes to settle it. Once again, Faulkner and Critchley seemingly pretty even on this lap. It is actually slightly less of a gap, 2/100ths. Critchley was the quicker. Gap between Critchley and Foot is now over 1.5 seconds, and we pick up that battle once again. Looks like Snake there may have pulled out a little gap. Meanwhile, at the front, I think Critchley is slightly the quicker again. He is by 4/100ths this time. Is this Faulkner just trying to manage the pace? The key, one of the big keys, of course, in the Daniel Ricciardo Series is how you have to, through qualifying and all through the races, you have to use the same set of tyres. And so you can't just use them all up in the heat. You've got to try and say something for when it really counts. I think Critchley there possibly made a mistake going around the bottom bend, and looks like Faulkner may have gained some time there. It is, it hasn't changed on our screens, as we just lost 20 seconds. So yeah, it has changed. Critchley losing 2/10. Main fight still for third place. There's a three-way battle for fifth between Oscar Walmsley-Jones, Tommy Welsh and Dan Weir. Meanwhile, Ryan Williams is the highest running novice up in 11th, and that's a couple of places higher than he's been for most of today's proceedings. They come around to start another lap, and we are now following that fight for fifth place. Around the loop they go and in towards top bend. And now the run to the dogleg. Potentially a move there that looked like it might have been slightly defensive initially from Welsh, but he's very close actually to Walmsley-Jones on the exit. Through towards the elbow they come. Faulkner and Critchley come through, and the gap between them is now pretty much bang on a second. We continue to focus on the battle for fifth place. Ryan Williams, meanwhile, the leading novice driver, is just at the back of a battle for 8th place, and it's actually a 5-way battle 8th place there. Hugler, Groves, Woodrow, Williams and Tom Snake back down there in 12th. Owen very close now to Henry Foote. Bang on a 10th as we continue to watch the fight for 5th place. Running a little wide there, it appeared, but actually not losing too much time there in the end. It was Weir at the back of that trio. He's actually gaining coming in towards bottom bend there. And they go up the hill and a move being made there. And a move made on Welsh. So Weir moves up to 6th place. It allows Wormsley Jones to escape that battle a little bit, pulling out a gap of almost 7/10. Meanwhile, Sam Faulkner's lead at the front is now 1.5 seconds, and there's a driver off on the inside of the loop and looking very frustrated by it. I'm just trying to see that. I don't see. So yeah, well, no, I don't think there's anyone that was running towards the front. It is a yellow plate, that much we know, and it isn't a seeded driver, so we'll double check that in a moment. It's Woodrow. Jake Woodrow, 328. A retirement from this grand final. Fight still alive for 3rd place. Foote and Owen. Owen has been stalking Henry Foote for several laps now. Just hasn't been in the position he would have wanted to make a move. And actually, Critchley here may well be under threat. The second before long, 3.5 minutes to go, and Foote has closed the gap to under 8/10. And Critchley indeed is falling back. Faulkner now leads by 2 seconds. As he goes into the dogleg, and you can see visually the gap to 2nd place is reducing. And so we spoke earlier about the tyre life through all the races today, and maybe Ethan Critchley has mismanaged that. Gap now 6/10, just over. And 2.5 minutes to go for Critchley to hold on to that 2nd place. Gap still 2 seconds, pretty much, between Faulkner and Critchley. So Faulkner now in management mode, it would seem. And here comes Henry Foote. Around the elbow they go. The gap is now much, much less than 6/10. I can tell you that. It's less than 3/10 now as they cross the line. And we're going to have now what was a two-driver battle for 3rd is now a 3-driver battle for 2nd. And among the academy drivers, Ryan Williams is now up to 10th. That, of course, will be because of Woodrow dropping out. So here they go. 3-5, excuse me, Critchley. 3-3-6 Foote. 1 Owen. Here comes the move. It's a 4-1 around the loop. And Foote makes it. But Critchley's going to try and fight back. It almost produced an opening there for Oliver Owen. And now Owen will go to the outside going into the dogleg. And that's a nice up and under move that he's going to pull off. You saw the wide line that Oliver Owen was taking into the dogleg there. And he was setting himself up to try and make the move. going in towards Bottom Bend, and he timed it perfectly. But the real winner there is Foot, because he has taken second. And Critchley, it's cool, really. You wonder if maybe his rally for the win in the heat, just cost him the momentum he needed for the rest of the day. Fortunately for him, he's got a 3.8 second gap to Daniel Weir in 5th. Looks like he's come out on top of that three-way battle with Walmsley Jones and Welsh. As Faulkner is going to cross the line. Now, will this be the start of the last lap, or will they have time on? 2 laps, they say. And his lead over Foot now, 3.6 seconds. Oliver Owen, however, wants to snatch second place away. It's a good run from Foot there, but he goes defensive initially into the dot there. That means he has to slow down a little bit between the 2 apexes, but he gets a decent run there. Owen might be positioned to have a go, not quite. It's a good run for Foot out of the elbow. Through paddock they go. Down to the loop. And Owen has been pretty much in this position relative to Foot throughout the entire race. And now, of course, we're on the final lap. And once again, Foot goes defensive initially, then swings to the outside to try and take the more ideal line through the dogleg. And if there's going to be a move from Owen, it has to be here, and it is here, and he makes it while Sam Faulkner wins. And Oliver Owen has snatched second place at the death with a last gasp move on Henry Foot. And you do, of course, wonder if the stewards are happy with the move Owen made early in the race when there was contact with Henry Foot. But as it stands, he finishes in second place, and it's a well-earned one with that excellent move from a distance back going into the elbow. On the final lap, he takes second place at the penultimate corner, but really nobody could hold a candle to Sam Faulkner, who once again sweeps the weekend. He had to fight for it significantly in the heat, but in the pre-final, and particularly in this grand final, he was absolutely dominant and completely unmatched. The final gap, 4 seconds. Henry Foot 3rd. Ethan Critchley drops back to 4th in the end. Daniel Weir winning that battle for 5th. And so that's it for our 1-2-5s, and our last race of the day coming up in a few moments, our DRS 100 grand final. Welcome back to Little Rissington, and it's time for our podium presentations for round 5 here of the Daniel Ricciardo Series. We begin with our cadets, our DRS 62 class, and we will start with the 3rd place driver in that category, Neo Luitho. And in 2nd place, Ruben Jenkins. We were trying to figure out if our Academy winner would have to stand on the podium twice, but it's top step on the Academy podium for Carter Inskip Clarkson. Well, that, I think, is the only mistake that Carter's made all afternoon. Congratulations to Carter and to our Academy drivers on the podium this afternoon. And now it is time for our DRS62's overall podium presentation. And in third place is Lucas Esser. And in second place, Harley Drake. And our overall winner for DRS 62's, Ashton Redpath. Time now for our DRS125 podium presentation. And as they leave, we say congratulations to our DRS62 Supers. Our novice winner for the 125's 9th place overall, Ryan Williams. And third place overall in the DRS 125's, Henry Foote. Coming out on top for second place in that great battle with Henry Foote was Oliver Owen. And our overall winner, Sam Faulkner. Congratulations to our podium finishers and to our Academy winner in the DRS 125s. Our novice winner, I should say. And the novice winner for the DRS 100 was Jakub Milcharski. Now for our overall podium finishers in the DRS 100, in third place, Liam Karabelov. Snapping on the heels of our winner all day was second place, Connor Scarisbrick. And holding on for a trio of wins was Jack Robinson. And a final congratulations to our podium finishers and A real sweetener for these drivers. To add to the podium presentations. And a final congratulations for our DRS 100 podium finishers. Well, it's Glanigors next up, and then the finale at Wilton Mill for these drivers. And, well, I mean, if we get action like that, then it should be pretty exciting as we wrap up this championship. Ben McPhillips joining you here from Little Rissington, here for round 5 of the Daniel Ricciardo Series. Thank you for joining us.